All right, it's that time again. So it's been a minute since I've been able to get on my macro game. Been slacking on my macro in. Yeah, there's something there. We'll workshop it. So I just wanted to take some time. I have a moment here to be able to add some functionality. So I want to work on my exporter. So for those of you who play along at home, you guys know that I use my exporter primarily to, like, when I save a CDR, like a new document, or when I export DXF, export PDF. I use it. It takes the name and creates the file name without me having to stop and fill it out like an animal. Because I'm on open warfare with my keyboard. We all know that. So the two big text fields you see here, the top one is for the job name. The bottom one is to kind of describe that's the file name, whatever, even though it takes both to make the file. So what I want to do though is when I have words in those two text boxes, in order to clear it, I don't have any way of clearing it. So I have to select each one by hand and then hit delete and then select the other one and hit delete. And yes, like an animal. It's we're civilized people now. So we have running water and everything. So what I'd like to do is just add a button or a button to just hit that button and it clears the fields. So just that simple. So, that's what I want to do today. So I figured I'd just hit record and you guys can come along. So it's been a minute since I've done this. So with that being said, let's get after it. So we're just going to open the IDE, the integrated development environment that Microsoft is so nice to give us. So you just go down the scroll, the list over here on the left, find your actual object, they call it. So you take the toolbox. We're just going to make a command button. So you just we're going to put it right here, kind of drag it to size, let it sit there, boom. So it's just going to be a happy little command button. It can be wherever you want, just a happy little command button. It's going to live right there. So you go over to palette to pick a color. I was thinking red, but I think red's too aggressive. It's too emergency. So I think yellow's good. There's other yellow on this palette. Looks nice. So you go over here to caption and just type clear. There we go. Now I could go in and start programming, but I need to know, before I get into it, I need to know what are the names of these two text boxes, because I have other text boxes on here. So I need to find out. So I go to view code to go ahead and code it. But before I go there, I want to figure out. So I'm just going to tap this text box, and you can see over here on properties, that's text box 1 and that's text box 2. So now that I know the two text boxes that I need to attack, so I'm going to go over here to where the sub is. And if I hit this button, it's going to isolate just this button. So that's good. So it just cleans up the screen. So that way the other subroutines are out of the way. So you type me.textbox1. The me just means you're referencing this, it's referencing itself. So this user form. So textbox1. Now it's been a minute. So I'm looking and I'm seeing that there's no clear. So, it's all alphabetical, but I don't see a clear. And now that I think about it, I think the only time you can clear something is if it's a combo box or it's a list box. Text boxes need to have a value. So you can't just have a text box without a value. So I think what I'm have to do is assign a value of nothing. So yeah, pretty sure, because I'm looking, there's no cut, there's no select all clear, anything like that. So what I'm going to do is just textbox.value, and then I'm going to set that equal to empty set, which in programming terms is 2 quotation marks, which tells the computer there's no value, an empty set. So I'm going to go ahead and copy paste this, and then we're going to set the other one as well to value. And it's just that simple. There we go. So when I push this button, so we hit debug, we hit save, we're going to go ahead and go back to the object. And so that should clear that. So it's sort of like when you take your car in for a brake job, you just might as well get the oil change done. There's something I've been wanting to do is I wanted to label these two text boxes. When I created this long ago, and it's, nobody uses these except me for the most part. So I know what it's for. But while we're here, I've always kind of wanted to take the time to just make labels. So the top box is the job name or the customer, okay? And then the second box is going to be like what you're doing. So the top box would be like McDonald's, Minnesota, or something like that. It's like the identifier. It's the job. It's the customer. And then the second one would be regular channel letters on Raceway, or monument sign, small monument sign, big monument sign. So McDonald's, Wisconsin, monument sign, something like that. That's how I would do that. So I'm going to make a label, And we're just going to call this, and I'm just, like I said, I'm going to call it the job name. So I go down to caption and you just type in, so I'm going to call it job name. And then that's that. And then I'm going to make the back of it, instead of opaque, you can select transparent. So you can see where just now you can see through the label. And then I'm just going to copy paste, and we'll just put another label here, and we're going to kind of lucked out. It sort of fits there. It looks good. So we're going to change the name on this one. I'm going to call this file name, even though technically the job name, both boxes make the file name, but I know what I mean when I say file name. It's basically what we're doing, or what I'm doing. You guys ain't doing it. So just going to kind of make it fit on this little pier, this little island, whatever you want to call it, peninsula sticking out. So I think that's good. Might want to see what it looks like if they're bold. I don't like bolding things because once you make something bold, then you have to make everything bold, and then you need bolder bold. But I think for this, it'll look good. There you go. Yeah, I think that's good. All right, so debug, save, and let's see what it looks like. Hit run, and we'll see what it looks like in real life. Look at that. Looking good. So yeah, and so we'll just type in some gobbledygook, job name. Here's file name, blah, blah, blah. And if I hit clear, there you go. Mission accomplished. Exactly what we want. So let's go ahead and see. Now, I did move these buttons, so let's see how it fits. So I'm going to launch everything because I'm kind of running vertical picks. Hey, Mr. Goodbar here. So I'm going to line everything up the way I like it. There's go time. I'm going to line that up, and you can see where it's getting a little tight. Vertical pixels kind of running into each other. Some of the stuff doesn't fit right now because I tested it on 2025 that just came out, and it doesn't fit the same way. So I had to adjust some of the sizes, and it doesn't quite fit because I'm still on 2021 and a half. So let's make this a little smaller. I did move those buttons. So we just go back and view the object. We can select these buttons here and just kind of move them up, and just those precious, those sweet, sweet pixels. Just move it up a little bit. There we go. And I think that should work. So just hit debug and save, even though we didn't write any code, but I like to hit debug anyway. And hit debug and save, and then we'll give it a shot, see if it works. Compile, save, and then we'll go back here and launch everything like we do. So exporter goes there. Mr. Goodbar goes on the other screen. And Launchpad goes here. I like move it over here. We'll put Hunter Killer up against properties right there. Dupe checker goes there, and radius machine ironically goes on top of the radius for the Dockers, and go time. So it looks better. Everything's fit. So let's give it a shot. Well, we're going to make a new document. So test. This would be the job name, McDonald's, whatever. And then this is what we're doing. So, whatever the type of sign is with underscores. And then if I hit save CDR, it pops up a new document, confirm, and you can see where it has named that document. It's all done. And then I also put the name down in the corner on the guides layer, so that way I know what the document is. And so now if I want to clear it and I want to bring up a new document, I can hit clear. Look at that. And if I hit grab name, the active document, it'll grab that back. So now I can clear. And if I want to grab the name of the document, boom. So we're good to go. So just as easy as that. Thanks for following along, and thanks for watching. Thanks for subscribing.